Toastmasters International is a nonprofit organization that has helped millions around the globe build confidence with public speaking. Since 1924, our Learn by Doing program will give you improved communication, public speaking, and leadership skills, all while building confidence for your next big presentation, whether it's in person or online. From those looking to change the world to those just looking to give a boost to their career, we know how to help. Build confidence in you. Visit toastmasters.org/find to connect with one of our over 16,000 clubs, meeting online or in person.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, thank you to all of you for joining us this evening. My name is Sibongiseni Mgolozeli, the president of Visionary Readers Toastmasters Club. This is our first meeting of the year 2025, and we're thrilled to welcome you all. And thank you once again for joining us this evening. We are going to try to make everything as simple as possible so that you understand. With that being said, I would like to start by saying this. As Visionary Readers Toastmasters Club, we pride ourselves as lovers of books. Even though some of you might know that Toastmasters is about helping members to become better speakers, better communicators, and better leaders. Us as a club, our strong selling point is this. We believe that for any skill that you want to build, you need to have a strong foundation. Just like any building, for it to stand the test of time, a strong foundation is important. Just like any kind of skill you need to build, like I said, you need to equip yourself with the knowledge, with the theory that will help you execute when it's time to practice the practicals. To bring it closer to home, with public speaking, there are books that are written about public speaking. With regard to communication, there are books that are written regarding communication skills. And also regarding leadership, there are books, thousands of books, articles, and even channels on YouTube that are about leadership. So with us as Visionary Readers Toastmasters Club, we encourage our members to start by empowering themselves with the books that speaks to those three skills. Hence, we believe that reading is the basic foundation of all material success. Communication, public speaking, and leadership, they go a long way in your personal and professional development. With all those words being said, I would like to share this point, which is something that we've started as a club. We are running now a 2025 reading challenge as a club, and would like to ask you, especially our guests, to join us in this challenge, especially if you're also keen in joining us in our club. My personal goal is before the end of the year, I want to finish reading 30 books, but we all have different goals when it comes to reading. If you are new to reading, you can just pick 10. That's on you. But some of us, they pick 10, some 5 is totally okay. The goal is just to start reading. With all that being said, without moving far off with the goal of this meeting today, we have quite an exciting program. And if you do not have the program yet, I'm sure any of our team members will share it in our chat, or they can share with you personally on your WhatsApp so that you can follow through as we're moving along with the program. I'm not going to say a lot. I've said a lot already. I just wanted to take that moment and emphasize what we stand for as a reading club, and also without veering off in terms of what any Toastmasters club is trying to achieve. I think I've said a lot for today. We will have another meeting in 2 weeks' time, but for today, as a starter, there's many of us who are in the lineup in the program. They have a lot of information to share. Please stick around, relax, and make sure you have fun. As we always say at Toastmasters, if it's not fun, then it's not Toastmasters. With all those words being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much once again for joining us. Please feel at home. And now at this point, I would like to hand over the control to none other than to our Madam Treasurer, who is going to be our Toastmaster, or AKA MC or Program Director this evening. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Good evening to everybody, our visitors, our guests, our fellow Toastmasters. A happy new year to you. And in line with our theme today, we are celebrating 2025 and we are looking forward to what it has in store for us. And we are talking goals, we are talking ambitions, we are talking perspective. And today we want to share that. And what better way to kickstart our very first meeting of this year by us setting goals. Our theme is a new chapter, 2025, setting goals for personal growth. I'll repeat it. A new chapter, 2025, setting goals for personal growth. I know all of us could have been anywhere tonight, but we decided to be here at Toastmasters. And that tells me that we are invested in our personal growth, very much on brand with our theme tonight. I am the Toastmaster of the evening, better known as a host, if you may, and my role is to ensure that we learn tonight and that we have fun. By show of virtual hands, can anyone that does not want to have fun or learn, please put up their hand? Anybody that says they do not want to learn tonight or they don't want to have any fun? Going once? Going twice? Okay, great. I think we all want to have fun, and that's why we are here tonight. And it is my duty to make sure that we do so. So if at any point of this meeting, if you find that you are not having fun or you are not learning, please ping me in the chat and I will definitely attend to that. But there is a catch. It is our responsibility as a collective to make sure that we all have fun, that we learn, and that we engage. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you feel welcome. We are really, really delighted to have you here in our first meeting. I am not the only role player tonight. I have a plethora of other role players that are just as excited to be here tonight. And I would like to hand over to the general evaluator of the evening to please come and introduce the team. Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening. I didn't have my hand up because I intend on having real fun tonight. And yes, we are here because we really want to have deep personal growth. Okay, my role as a general evaluator, I will be taking everything, the proceedings of the meetings, from the beginning to the end. I will be assessing the quality of our club meeting this evening. I will actually be checking on the preparation, the organization, the timelines that we are using and following, but I'll also be checking the performance of every role player that will be taking a role this evening. And I will highlight everything and give the report at the end of this meeting. But also that I will not be doing alone. I will be having the team that will assist me, which is the team that I will be introducing today, starting with the grammarian. Let me see. The grammarian will be Zintle. So Zintle, if you can come to the virtual podium and you explain what the role will be tonight. Over to you, Zintle.
Good evening, Madam Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and our guests. My name, as introduced, is Zintle Grupe, and I am very excited for this year, very excited for this meeting. My role as the grammarian will be to pay careful attention to all speakers, listen to the usage of the language, of the English language, as well as pay attention to the misuse of the language, outstanding words, quotes, and sayings that the speakers would be saying. It is also my role to introduce the word of the day, and that word of the day today is ardent. Ardent is an adjective meaning enthusiastic or passionate. To use the word, you would use it in such a way. Her ardent pursuit of her goals in 2025 made her year the most transformative year. At the end of the meeting, I will be giving a report on the usage of the language as well as the grammar used by all speakers. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening, and to you, Ms. General Evaluator of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zinhle. If perhaps you should not descend the podium and you come back again and you give your role as the accountant this evening.
As well as the accountant, I'll be paying attention to all the speakers, making note of every time a speaker uses the or the fill-in words. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator of the evening.
Thank you very much, Zinhle, for your roles this evening. I will also be accompanied by our timer. As I said, I'll be checking the timelines and how we are adhering to it. I will be assisted by our timer, and our timer this evening is Nompumelelo. Nompumelelo, if you can ascend the stage and you tell us what your role would be.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, visitors, and guests. I'm Nompumelelo Manzini, as introduced. As a timer, I'll be keeping track of the speeches, the table topics, and the evaluations. I'll also alert each speaker of the time that they have left by raising the different cards. As you will see on the agenda, there's duration, there's green, amber, and red. So when we get to, for instance, for the icebreaker, at 4 minutes, I will raise the green. I'll raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. I hope you can see my background changing. And at 6 minutes, I'll raise the red card. And then for Sibongile, we'll be the third speaker. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 15 minutes, I will raise the amber. And then at 20 minutes, I'll raise the red. For our second speaker, at 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, the red card. And for our table topics, which will be 1 to 2 minutes, at 1 minute, I'll raise the green card. At 1.5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, the red. And for evaluations, which should be 2 to 3 minutes, at 2 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 2.5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll raise the red card. That's it from me.
Thank you very much, Nompulelo. And Toastmaster of the evening, that's all from the tech team. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator, as well as your team. We can see that you all are very ardent about personal development and about your roles. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to a section that I call the main course, which is prepared speeches. What you saw earlier on, that was the starter. And trust me, we are going to have some dessert later on. So coming into this section, this is the prepared speeches. And here we have, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters that are currently working on their pathways, and they have set criteria for their speeches. They have evaluators to ensure that the learning and development is that of a high standard. So they will be coming onto the podium. First, I'll be calling the evaluators to come and tell us what the Toastmasters were working on when they were writing their speech, or what we should be on the lookout for as they're delivering them. And then I will call onto the stage our speakers. So for this evening, we have got 3 speakers, ladies and gentlemen. In line with engagement, I would like this session to be very engaging. So in line with engagement, I would like to have everyone on camera. I know we have our Sergeant at Arms who will do the due diligence of ensuring that all the people that are spotlighted, but in the name of engagement, seeing each other, that vibrancy, I would like for us to please switch on our cameras. The only thing that I will ask is that we make sure that we are muted. Everybody that comes here onto the virtual stage, in order for us to be able to learn all that we need to learn from them, we need to make sure that we are as tranquil as possible. So I would like for everyone, where possible, to please switch on their cameras. And while we do so, I would like to call upon our first evaluator of the evening. This is Sibongile Mutsweni. She will be evaluating Boikano Mutle. Madam Toastmaster, I would like to invite you to the podium to please tell us what Boikano will be working on. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, guests, and visitors. Boikano is our newest member in the club, and he will be presenting his very first speech that is called an icebreaker. The objectives of this project is to teach a new member how to structure their speech. Basically, what I will be looking for is the introduction, the body, and a conclusion that he had formulated his speech around. And there'll be other things perhaps that I will also mention to enhance his public speaking experience and education. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Madam Evaluator. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please help us to welcome Boikano Mutle delivering his icebreaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Boikano Mutle, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, let me start by asking, am I audible enough? All right. Thanks, Lord. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me start by wishing everyone a blessed 2025, and just say to you, this is just a change in calendar. For any change to happen, you need to start with a character. I read that somewhere. I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to share a bit about myself and take you through a quick journey of my life and experiences. First of all, I'd like to start with where I was born. I was born in Rustenburg, but I spent most of my childhood in a place called Lifiswane, that's in Mpumalanga. That is a place that taught me the importance of resilience, adaptability, and community. And these values that I've learned from Lifiswane, they stayed with me throughout my life journey. I mean, I went to Lifiswane, I was only 5 years old, and this is where I was speaking Setswana, deep Setswana of Mokgagolwane, I hope you understand. And I was thrown in the area where Setswana is only taught at school. And people on the street, the dominating language is Sepedi. And this is at the same time where I've learned other languages like Tswana, Tsonga, like Tsonga and Ndebele. Those languages were foreign to me. Like I've never heard of any other language. The only language that I knew was Tswana. And you can imagine as a kid trying to play through language barriers, if you put it that way. And that's when resilience kind of kicked in. I had no chance but to adapt to the settings and the environment. I was a child that no one understood. And when I was trying to express myself, nobody could understand what I'm saying. At home, I was with an old man, Naledi, a businessman. He was running a joint venture with his wife. He would go to Johannesburg and buy fabric. And that fabric, bring it home, and his wife will be a tailor. And that's how we made meals. That's how I grew up. And in that settings, I was the CFO, the one who collected money from customers and write on a book. I was learning. Little did I know I was taught accounting then, journaling, balancing books. And I was frustrated at the time. I thought this is the time I could be playing like any other kids, but I was given proper life lessons. My academic path began at TUT, where I discovered a passion for technology and problem solving. this led to my first role as a developer. In this role, my first role, that's when I met Nompumelelo Manzini, the first person to tell me that a car is not an asset. I couldn't believe it. I left the conversation thinking that, or convinced that something is not right with her. She was telling me that property is an asset, not a car. Because it was my first job, and I looked at it, I was like, the minute I get enough money, I'll buy myself a car. The car is an asset. I was like, no. Wait a minute. And we spent days immersed in code building solution, research and development, learning the art of precision and creativity, just to try to go through the day. And the resilience and the adaptability that I've learned from Mufiswane helped me to cope with the upset working hours that was presented by our working environment. And later on, continuing with life, I wanted to transition from coding development, moving into product management, business analysis, this type of thing. And I was aware then that I'm not that eloquent, I'm suffering, I'm struggling very there. Someone in my circle mentioned Toastmasters will help me. And I just took the idea, I packed it. That was around about the same time I was busy with Henley Business School application packs, where I remember I applied 5 times. At some stage I was given a bursary, but I never actually submitted that. And finally, I pursued my studies with Henley Business School. It was a game changer for me, as it equipped me with the tools and perspective to transition into my current role as a product manager. I'm happy that now I can combine those technical skills background with business strategy. It helps me to find innovative ways to deliver value to customers and create real impact. Outside of work, I love cycling. Although I told myself I'm a cyclist, I joined a group. In that group, found out people now, they are preparing for a cycling event starting from Johannesburg to Cape Town. And I'm not sure if I should call myself a cyclist, but that's my favorite way to stay active and clear my mind. I'm also a reader, though I don't finish books, which is part of the reason why I'm here. I don't finish books sometimes. I have this tendency of going through a book just a bit. But once I understand and get where it's going, I then lose interest. I don't know. It's one of the things that I'm here for. I'm interested reading business books and personal development. And I also like to travel and experience different cultures. This December I was in Botswana, previous one I was in Guyana, and that helps me to stay inspired and open to new ideas. For example, when you get to Botswana, you find that there is a tree that have alcohol, or how do you put it? If you get the juice from that tree, it shouldn't be somewhat wrong. And it's those are new ideas that we normally wouldn't, and one wouldn't experience. In closing, I'm really looking forward to connecting with you all, and from your experiences, how do you finish books, how do you deliver speeches, and how you navigate life. Thanks for giving me the chance to introduce myself. Thank you.
Lovely. Can we all unmute and give them a big round of applause?
Congratulations.
Woo!
Tanya.
Well done.
Well done. Congratulations on delivering your very first speech here at Toastmasters, your icebreaker. Lovely learning about you and hearing that you are from Rusty Dusty Streets, as it's popularly known. And I would really love to hear about that tree. So if you've got more details about it, please drop that info in the chat. I'm sure we all, want to learn about it. But well done on your speech, and we thoroughly enjoyed that. And now, moving on to our second speech, I would like to call upon our second evaluator, Anna Costa, to please tell us what our second speaker, what the objectives of the speech are, and what's the title of the speech. Thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am.
Thanks so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, and hello everyone. Before I go into my evaluator's role, should I quickly do the Hark Master's introduction? I only realized now I was skipped over before the first evaluator and speech. Shall I do that first? I'll wait for your confirmation. Okay, thank you. All right, there is a quote by Mark Twain, and it goes something like this. Wisdom is the reward you get for a lifetime of listening when you'd rather be talking. Listening is a very important skill for meaningful communication. If we don't understand what someone is saying, then our communication is not effective at all. Hark means to listen. For example, hark the herald angels sing, the Christmas carol. The role of the Hark Master is to check if everyone is listening during the meeting. So if you haven't been listening up until now, now's the time to start. As your Hark Master, I will listen carefully to everything that the presenters and the speakers talk about this evening. I'll make notes of the important and interesting bits. When presenting my segment later on, I'll pose a question to a selected person or guest, and I will ask you a question pertaining to something that someone said during the meeting. In a live meeting, your response will be met with a reward like chocolates, but we are online. So instead of chocolates, I'll resort to a fun treat suggestion, which you can treat yourself to at home. So I'm repeating the quote. I think you better listen up. Wisdom is the reward you get for a lifetime of listening and less talking. So thanks so much for that. And I look forward to that segment later on, which Madam Toastmasters will announce. But as my first role, I'm the second evaluator for Pearl Kalegi. Pearl is doing her pathway dynamic leadership, and this is her first level, project number 4. The speech is titled Embodying Your Aspirations. The purpose of the speech is for the member to present his speech and receive feedback. I'm focusing on the member's style, and I'll report back when called upon to do so. There's also one aspect of his speech that she's asked me to look at, and that is the end, to see the impact that it concludes with. So I'll be looking forward to hearing the end as well in specific. So thanks so much for that, and good luck, Pearl, and over to you. Thanks.
Thank you, evaluator. And now introducing our second speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Pearl Khalefi with her speech, Embodying Your Aspirations. Pearl Khalefi, over to you.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. As we stand at the threshold of the new year, many of us are tempted to make resolutions. And don't get me wrong, they are good. However, today I want to challenge you to think differently. Instead of making promises to yourselves that you may or may not keep, I want to encourage you to take a leap of faith and start living that childhood dream. Remember when you were a child and everything seemed possible? You dreamt of flying, of exploring the world, and of making a difference. And as we grew older, life got in the way, and those dreams were relegated to the back burner. Let me ask you a question. What is it that you aspire to be? Is it one of the great leaders like Mandela or Gandhi? An innovator like Steve Jobs or Thomas Edison? A game changer like Louis Armstrong or Malala Yousafzai? Whatever it is, I'm here to tell you that the key to achieving it lies not in waiting for the perfect moment, but in embodying that which we aspire to be right now. Therefore, let us dust off those dreams and make them a reality. It is time to take the bull by the horns and grab hold of your aspirations. As a great philosopher Lao Tzu once said, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. What he meant there is nature embodies its aspiration without an effort. For example, a tree does not try to be a tree. It simply grows into one. So I ask you, what would happen if you embodied your aspirations with the same effortless ease? Often, we are held back by our own limiting beliefs. We think, I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified enough. But as Nelson Mandela so eloquently put it, the greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time you fall. Again, I ask you, what limiting beliefs are holding you back from embodying your aspirations? You might be asking me, how do you embody your aspirations? It starts with a simple and yet profound mindset, becoming the best version of yourself. In the words of Maya Angelou, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. Now, I know what you are thinking again. But what about fear? What about doubt? What about the voices in my head that tell me that I'm not good enough? Well, let me tell you a secret. Fear and doubt are not enemies. They are merely indicators that you are on the right path. Richard Branson also said, the biggest risk is not taking any risk. Again, I ask, what risks are you willing to take to embody your aspirations? Embodying your aspiration is not just about achieving a goal. It is about becoming the person you need to be to achieve that goal. It is about embracing your true potential and living a life that truly reflects your values and passion. So I leave you with a final question. What would happen if you embodied your aspirations, take risks, challenge the status quo? So for today, go out there and start embodying your aspirations. Mold, build, grow, sculpt the person you want to be. Do not wait for a perfect moment. Do not wait for someone else's validation of you. Cultivate an ardent passion within yourself. Let it fuel your determination and drive you closer to the new you. The big word is start today. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, Pearl, can we
Wow.
all unmute?
Woohoo! Well done.
One, Pearl. Sure. I hope I'm not the only one that
Well done,
felt
Pearl.
convicted by that. Can you guys, by show of hands, please show if you also felt convicted? Pearl, that was very, very personal, but we loved every minute of it. Well done. That was really, really excellently done. We can't wait to hear your evaluation later on. Sure. Do you guys now understand why I said this is the main meal? This is the main course of the evening. And for the last speech of the evening, I would like to call upon Sibongiseni Mgolozeli to come and introduce the third speech of the evening. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. And ladies and gentlemen, this evening it is my pleasure to introduce Sibongile Mthwene's speech as I will be evaluating her. Let me say this first, that Toastmasters, especially to our guests now, each and every role you see now in this meeting, it teaches you a specific skill. For this particular speech, our member, which is Sibongile, is going to learn how to be a good facilitator. So the objective of this project, it says, is for Sibongile to learn how to facilitate a question and answer session. This means at the same time, in addition to becoming a good facilitator, she can also learn how to become a good interviewer, which is also very important. And secondly, most importantly, so you'll understand, she will do a speech for 5 to 7 minutes. She will be given a whole 20 minutes to be on stage this evening. So the first 5 to 7 minutes, she will be delivering a speech without any interruption. Then after that 7 minutes, I want you all, as our Madam Hack Master told us, let us please listen, because after that 5 to 7 minute speech, she might be asking us, everyone in the call, to answer questions. So she will be facilitating also for the last 13 minutes, the question and answer session. That's all from me. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Mr. Evaluator. And now, calling upon stage, Sibongile Mthweni. With her speech, commitment versus involvement. Sibongile, over to you.
Dreams without goals are just dreams. And ultimately, they fuel disappointment. Goals cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. Those are the words of Denzel Washington. Happy New Year, Toastmasters, guests, and visitors. Today is the 10th day of 365 days of the year. And as per norm, thousands and thousands of people around the world are determining and writing down their New Year's resolutions. What are New Year's resolutions again, you may ask? Yep, that is the question. I bet that there are people amongst us right now in the meeting who do not know what New Year's resolutions are. Don't get me wrong, it's not because they don't understand English. No. It's simply because making New Year's resolutions, or rather writing them down, is something that they do not practice. And it simply doesn't resonate with them. Over the years, writing down New Year's resolutions was glamorized. People who practice this were made to seem sophisticated and well put together. They know what they are doing. Well, that is until the cat was let out of the bag, letting us know that over 90% of them did not actually follow through those New Year's resolutions by the end of the year. A survey that was done by Forbes shows that 8% of the people who write down their New Year's resolutions will quit on them within the first month, followed by 21.9% who reported to quit within the second month. Then there's 22.2% who reported that they made it through the third month. And then it was then, as the percentage shrinks, 13.1% said their resolutions lasted for 4 months. And only 6% lasted for 11 to 12 months. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 6% make it through their New Year's resolutions. If you look at the definition of a New Year's resolution, it's simply a promise that one makes at the beginning of a year to either start doing something good or stop doing something bad. For example, if you want to start eating healthy or if you want to stop smoking. So why is it that these resolutions are so difficult to follow through? I mean, you know what is wrong, you know what is not working, and you know most of the time what you need to do to make it work. Then why is it that it seems impossible to live the best life that you know you deserve? Well, according to Forbes, the reason that a small percentage of people follow through with their resolutions is, firstly, people make resolutions without a clear plan. Secondly, people often expect to make big changes overnight, which is not sustainable. Thirdly, people make unrealistic and unspecific resolutions. Fourthly, the excitement of making a resolution, most times, it quickly wears off. And lastly, people may blame their failure to keep a resolution on lack of time, resources, and motivation. I heard a very interesting analogy while I was binging on Netflix over the festive season. An analogy about commitment versus involvement to a project or a cause. An analogy of a pig and a chicken that is used to illustrate the differing levels of commitment from project stakeholders. The analogy goes as follows. A pig and a chicken were walking down the road. And the chicken said to the pig, "Hey pig, I was thinking we should open a restaurant." Pig replied, maybe. What would we call it?" The chicken responded, "How about ham and egg?" The pig, thinking for a minute, and then it said, "No, thank you. I'd be committed, but you, on the other hand, will only be involved." Now, this analogy basically explains that for the pig to bring the ham as a product to the restaurant, it will have to be slaughtered, and that is commitment. However, for the chicken to bring in the eggs into the restaurant as an investment, it can just lay as many eggs as it can up until it's old and its reproductive system doesn't work anymore. Therefore, it is only involved. There is no commitment. In conclusion, I, Sibongile Mthweni, do not believe in writing down resolutions every year. However, I make a concise decision every year to be the pig in all projects or courses I get involved in. Toastmasters, guests, and visitors. This is the part now where I ask you a question. Are you the chicken or the pig? However, my first question, it will be in two parts. Firstly, I would like to ask it in a general platform. Are you a chicken or the pig? See, we've got somebody named Powerhouse saying, I choose to be a pig. Will you please come to the virtual podium and tell us why? Why are you choosing to be a pig? Pearl, your hand is noted. You will be next. And Biganyo, your hand is also noted. Go first.
I'm a bit of both. Depending on the project where I am vested, I will be a pig. And for some reason where I'm not vested, I'll just be involved and hands off. But after listening to you, I'm ready to be a pig all the way.
Thank you so much, Pearl. Please don't move away from the podium because now you tapped into the second part of my question, which was going to be, as a Toastmasters member, are you a pig or a chicken in this journey?
Definitely a pig. I'm definitely a pig. Started late last year with my Toastmaster work at the bank, and I am fully excited, looking forward to progressing. And hence, I even asked because at work we haven't started. I'm even looking at other Toastmaster clubs so that I can join them. So, definitely a pig.
Ooh, she's a fellow pig. If I may ask you a subsequent question, Pearl, do you believe in New Year's resolutions? If you do, please tell us why. If you don't, please also tell us why.
Then my speech won't be. I think they work for other people, not necessarily for me. I do a vision board. In actual fact, at work, I'm a big propeller of vision boards. I actually even talk to staff about vision board. I sit, I bring magazines, I guide them, and for me, the fact that it is somewhere where I can see it all the time makes it more practical than what you said. According to Forbes, some of the reasons is that it's tucked away, it's impractical. This is practical. I can see it. I cut these pictures and I know where I want to go. So not necessarily in setting resolutions, but in vision boards.
Thank you so much, Pearl. I'm hoping to bring you back later on to tell us the difference between a vision board and New Year's resolution. Now I would like to have a different participant who will come to the podium. I think we had Biganyo. Biganyo, answer to my first question. And the second part of it also resonates with you or is more directed to you. As a new Toastmasters, are you a pig or a chicken in this Toastmasters journey?
I'm confused, you know. I rather, because this is the business of a restaurant, I'm rather confused, and I'm looking at it from a strategy perspective to say, is this pig saying to us there's no pigs next door, and it doesn't have smaller pigs that can help to produce the ham? And then if this chicken, can it lay eggs, and these eggs can we produce smaller chickens, and then they produce eggs? And if you, I don't know, let me take you to to the book Animal Farm, where they say all animals are equal, but some are more equal than the others. So I'm looking at that scenario to say, how can we apply it there? And then that give me, that kind of put me in a situation where I'm not sure if I'm a pig or a chicken, but I would look at it differently than just apply it as it was. Yes, I understand in that analogy it was either or, but do we have other options that we can look at? That's my question.
Thank you so much, Bikanye. And I love where your mind is going. But now I'm not going to give you the options because I'm asking the questions whether you, in your Toastmasters journey, are you the pig or the chicken? Now you tell me what the possible options could be. But before you answer that, let me try also and elaborate a bit on the analogy. If we take it from an individual perspective, we have a pig, we have a chicken, and we are trying to execute a project. In this case, let's say it's breakfast. Don't make it a restaurant because I see how you are thinking of mass production there. Let's make it breakfast. We are making breakfast for a very important person. It doesn't matter who that person is, it's person X. As a pig, you will have to die for the bacon to be produced for that breakfast. But for the chicken, they only have to lay maybe 2 eggs, 3 eggs. They don't have to die. So they are involved in the process. They are all making a breakfast. However, the pig will have to die for it to contribute to this breakfast. And the chicken will only have to lay eggs and simply continue with life. Over to you.
And there's no pigs next door that I can manage. The only pig.
I don't know. You tell me. You tell us what the other option would be.
Yeah, no,
I will
I'll
let
answer.
you.
Yeah, sure, I'll answer.
I will let you stew on that one. And I would like to have another volunteer. Let me ask my second question so that we don't spend too much time on one question. So this question now is mostly directed to Toastmasters. Oh, actually, I can put it in general as well, the second question. What are your challenges in deciding whether you're the pig or you're the chicken? What are the challenges? What are the big things that make you say, I'd love to be the pig, but, oh no, I'm actually just a straight on chicken. That's it. That's me, and I'm not ashamed. Dr. Sibu, I see your hand. Sir, you may come through the virtual podium.
Thank you, ma'am. With my challenge or challenges, I'm sure most people in the room will relate. Most of us here are working. And the reason why I struggle so much to decide to be a chicken sometimes and sometimes to be a pig is because of work commitments. At Toastmasters, since of course you don't get paid, you prioritize your workplace or your workload because you know that's where your bread is coming from. So for me, sometimes at Toastmasters, I am fully a pig, I commit fully. Sometimes I become a chicken. I become a chicken only in those moments where I know there are no deadlines or, pressing matters that I need to tackle immediately. So I think that's my main challenge. Otherwise, it's not just a once-off thing. I mean, as a president, you need to show full commitment, but I confess I'm not always committing. I have my flaws, but I try my best to show up on time. Thank you. Back to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sibo. Now I have a follow-up question for you. I understood you explained work challenges and balancing. If you heard in my speech, when they were giving the 5 reasons why people don't go through with resolution, that was actually reason number 5 that said people may blame their failure to keep a resolution on lack of time, lack of resources, or lack of motivation. So what I'm hearing from you, it's more of a lack of time, because now you've got 2 competing priorities.
Right.
So my question to you is, how can the ardent visionary Readers Toastmasters Club assist you to overcome that challenge? I know we can't be at your workplace, but in terms of you then executing your president role in this club, how can the ardent EXCO members or the club at large assist you with those challenges?
That's a beautiful question, and thank you for asking, because I could do with some help. The number one, or the one way they can assist me with the ardent visionary team members, is to, maybe for starters, is with me to learn how to delegate. For instance, if I need a certain task done that is to do with Visionary Readers Toastmasters Club, I can ask either you as Madam VPE or my secretary or Madam Treasurer to help me to complete that task, so that I can deliver within a specific deadline that was expected from me as the president, so that during that time I am doing my other work commitments, which is now my workplace. So the one thing that came to mind is basically, first and foremost, I must take responsibility to learn how to delegate and ask my team members, even ordinary members of the club, to assist where I need assistance. I must reach out for help, in simple words. Back to you.
Thank you so much. What I love about this session is that you are able to answer for your own challenges. And I hope that after this meeting, you will be able to take it back and actually execute on that so you find relief. Ladies and gentlemen, from a time perspective, we seem to have run out of time. I would like to just conclude by saying it is well and good to plan, to put goals, to do New Year's resolutions, to do vision boards. Pearl, I haven't forgotten about you. The question that I had initially asked about you telling us what the difference between vision board and New Year's resolution is. If you can please put that on the chat for us to read later. And Guiganyo as well, in terms of options. I will be asking you this question over and over again as your mentor through your level 1 in Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of my presentation. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Oh, wow. Can we unmute and give her a massive round of applause, please?
Woohoo!
Done.
Well done, Sibongile, on that engaging segment. And that was just the cherry on top, bringing us to a closure of our prepared speeches. And what a way to close it. I mean, as a visionary Readers Toastmasters Club, I was very happy to see books being quoted and hearing people that are business-minded and people that don't necessarily look for their own, like Picanho, wanting to kill other pigs. But very interesting analogy, and we thoroughly enjoyed that. I asked for people to please add in the chat the minute they are not having fun. But right now, I would like to change that to say, if you are having fun, if you could please show by an emoji, or if you can write in the chat, please just let us know, are you learning? Are you having fun? And also, please feel free to also state or highlight what are some of the key things that came up for you over the past couple of segments that we have had. It is now 1 minute past the hour. And Madam Timer, please let me know. I see that we are definitely having fun. I am glad we are on brand. Please let me know if we do have time to squeeze, even if it's a 4-minute or 5-minute break. bio break, a quick bio break? Madam Tama?
Yes, we do have time. You can proceed. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like for us to please just take a quick bio break for 5 minutes. It is now 19:02, so we will resume at 19:07 on the dot. And please keep the comments coming in the chat. Love to read them and hear how you're finding the meeting so far. Thank you. See you at 19:07.
Thank you, ma'am. Maybe to avoid the awkward silence during the break, we usually take this time to network, perhaps at this stage, to help our Madam VPE to further learn his facilitation skills Q&A session. Maybe she can just jump in now as an impromptu session or impromptu table topics to ask any maybe lingering questions to anyone in the room while others are taking the break.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sibu. Yes, I would love to. So anyone who had a burning desire to just answer into the questions that I had asked, this is your time. Please just open your video and shoot from the hip. If you're not opening your videos and shooting from the hip, I would like to ask, I see some people that I know in the house, and we have a full house today. I noted we were 25 people earlier, now we are 23. Motsidisi, let me put you on a spot and ask you the same questions. Are you the pig or the chicken in your Toastmasters journey?
Hello. I just wrote that I'm very sorry. I arrived as you were asking questions, but it sounds like I really missed a really riveting speech. So I'm not quite sure the difference.
Not a problem with CDC. I'm going to park you for now and just go back to Biganyo in terms of those options that he was stewing on. Biganyo, come to the virtual podium.
I'm back.
If she's there, and Jackie.
No, I'm here.
Okay, you can go ahead, Biganyo.
I was trying to type some reply there about the name of the restaurant. I'll call it Chippy, which meaning chicken pig, Chippy restaurant. We are involved in our commitment. That's the name of the restaurant. We are involved in our commitment. That's the restaurant. Look, I won't lie. It's a very interesting question, and I'd like to say, first of all, I don't see how anybody can be committed to the level of sacrificing themselves. To be honest with you, and I don't see that. But also, I have learned that things are possible out there, but I think many people will be involved. And I think let me speak for on my behalf. I'll be involved. I won't die, but I'll be involved in that case. I'm not that committed to the level of death. No, not there. We're not going to. And there's so much to be achieved. Unless if I have to maybe create a scalable distribution type thing, yes, then I will be committed. So in this case, I'm involved. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Biganyo. And yes, I think I like the way you are thinking about it. Because remember, death is not literal death, even though in this analogy, it will have to be. Because the pig, for it to contribute with the bacon, it will have to die. But this is to make us think about things that we commit ourselves into, and why do we commit ourselves into? So that you understand whether you are involved only for a certain period of time, or you are actually committed and in it. So commitment in this case would then be viewed as be willing to make certain sacrifices. As much as you are balancing your life, but don't let one thing then die or completely fall off the table. As you are juggling your balls, make sure you've got sufficient balls that none of them actually fall off from the juggling. Thank you so much. And I think the 5 minutes, we've got 15 seconds according to my timing.
Thank you so much, Madam VPE, for taking that segment that was unplanned, but you executed it very beautifully. And that's what we do here at Toastmasters. And that's one of the skills that we learn, which are very impromptu. And now I would like to call upon our virtual stage, our timer, to please give us the times of the speeches in our first segment. Over to you, Madam Timer.
Good evening once again. For our first speaker, Bukanyo Mute, he spoke for 6 minutes, 48 seconds. And then Pearl Kaleke, she spoke for 6 minutes, 6 seconds. And our third speaker, Sibongile Mthweni, spoke for 7 minutes, 23 seconds. And overall, the session took about 21 minutes. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Madam Timer. We time everything here at Toastmasters because time management is also one of the very important skills that Toastmasters pride themselves with. Now that concludes our first section of prepared speeches. And now we move on to something which is completely new for us as Visionary Readers Toastmasters Club. It's a new role called the Hack Master. As Madam Hack Master introduced herself earlier, I would like to now welcome her onto the stage to come and execute her segment. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Thanks for the lovely introduction. And indeed, this is a new role that we are taking on, a new segment, exciting segment for our first meeting. It is the Hark Master in place of table topics. And in this session, I'm going to be asking questions ardently to hear if you've been listening and if you can answer some questions. So we'll keep it simple. And for time's sake, I'm going to try and share a screen and see how it works to pick up names of volunteers. Well, not volunteers, you're going to be picked. And if that doesn't work, then I will just simply pick from the screen, if you don't mind. So just bear with me. This is the first time for me while I share my screen. And let's see if this is going to work.
Yes, we can see your screen, ma'am.
Wonderful. All right. Sorry about that. And let's go for our first guest of the evening. Marangwa Jackie. Is Jackie available? Is she online? Jackie, are you available? Are you able to unmute yourself? All right. If Jackie's not on, I'm going to spin the wheel again.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are. Oh, Jackie. All right. Let's stop that right now. Stop share. All right, ma'am. Okay, for your... Okay, am I visible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. The first question, Jackie, in the beginning, as Hark Master introduction, what did I say is the reward of a lifetime for listening? What is the reward of a lifetime of listening? It was a quote by Mark Twain, the author.
I think the reward you get for a lifetime of listening. I actually remember you saying that quote, and you mentioned that listening is a skill. I can't remember.
When we listen instead of talking, we pick up quite a bit. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
You can just expand on that for us. There's no specific word for it, although Mark Twain did use the word wisdom. But what do you take away from that?
Yeah. Okay. So I think maybe you mentioned that wisdom is the reward you get for a lifetime of listening. So it's important for us to listen so that we hear what the next person is saying instead of just, listening to someone for the sake of listening, but
Yes.
not paying attentive attention to what they're saying.
Absolutely. Then there will be no cross communication or misunderstandings. And of course, we learn from what we hear, isn't it? And we can ask questions.
Definitely.
Do you have a little anecdote or something that's happened in your life where you realized you actually had to listen and you weren't listening as astutely, or perhaps where you were listening and you derived some benefit from it?
I think at this point, something I was talking about, I think the past 2 days, I've got a friend where she's always talking, even if I'm trying to express how I'm feeling, she's always like it becomes her experience more than her listening to what I'm saying. And I think for me, that actually taught me to pay attention to people, like to pay attention when people are talking to me so that I don't like speak over them, but give them a moment to be heard. And because I realize that I do not like that trait from someone else where I'm trying to express myself, I'm trying to tell you how I'm feeling, but instead of you hearing me, but you end up making the situation about you and it overpowers and overtakes. So sometimes doing that, it actually pushes people away from you because people feel like you don't pay attention and you always want to be the center of attention.
Yes, thanks so much for that. Now I'm going to suggest a reward for you. Can you number 1 to 8, and I'll pick a reward for you from here?
7.
7, that's my favorite number. Number 7. So just remember, it's just a virtual reward suggestion because I can't give you anything over the screen. So well said and answered, Jackie. We suggest you go to your local library or bookstore and browse. Better yet, take your best friend or your child with you and have fun this weekend, just browsing. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to share my screen again and pull out another name. Third time lucky. Palesa Mashap. Oh, no, it's Uyanda. Yanda, are you available, Yanda? Yanda, good evening. Can you hear me? We can hear you.
So am I audible?
It's fine. If you can't turn your camera, if it's going to disturb your Wi-Fi, it's fine. We can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Yanda, question for you. What is the General Evaluator's special introduction besides overseeing the entire meeting? What special introduction does the General Evaluator do at Toastmasters?
Oh my goodness. Shall I say you pass? It is my first time, the anxiety and I was listening,
No,
I
it's
must
fine. We are just to be having fun. So I'll give you the answer and then you tell me why you think it is. A very
Okay.
simple introduction, and a lot of us miss it sometimes, is the General Evaluator introduces the word of the day. And this evening it was ardent.
Ardent, yeah.
Ardent. So firstly, maybe you could use the word ardent in your response and tell us why do you think we have a word chosen so that we can use it in the meeting? Why do you think that is and what it brings out in value to our discussions?
Can you please repeat again your question?
All right. The word of the day, ardent, was
Yes.
selected today by our General Evaluator. Why do you think a word of the day is chosen, and how do you think it benefits us as communicators to use it in our meeting?
I'm not sure I'm able to follow you. I think the word is very critical for us to use, especially now at the beginning of the new year, where for sure some of us we need to commit ourselves to do what we are planning to do. And again, were you referring to Toastmaster again? Why is it critical for the word to be used?
Yes. What skills does it imbue in us? What is important? Why it's important for us to use the word of the day?
For me, I would say why it is important to use the word for the day. I think we need to be committed to listen to be in the meeting. I think it's very important that we are committed for this session until, if I'm correct, we listen until the end. If we're not committed, for sure, we'll just leave the meeting. I hope Miss Hack, Miss Must, I'm able to answer you. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, Ayanda. Basically, there's so many reasons why we use a word of the day. One, it improves our vocabulary, especially if it's a word we haven't used before. Secondly, we can also think quick on our feet and try and use it where it matches our theme. So, there's so many other reasons, but it is fun. It's fun to use and it's fun to try and remember all the time to use it. So thanks so much for that. And I'm going to ask you
You're
to pick
welcome.
a number out from 1 to 8, not number 7. It's already taken for your treat.
Let's take number 4.
Number 4.
Yes.
Congratulations with your responses and for contributing. You could treat yourself to a new book this weekend. You can go to a library, a secondhand store, or you can swap with a friend or learn. Just remember, books doesn't have to be an expensive hobby. It can be all about sharing or swapping or just going to a library and browsing, reading, taking out. So enjoy yourself. I hope you do enjoy reading. I think you do, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And thanks so much, Ayanda. It's such a pity. I had a lot more questions pertinent to do with the pig and the chicken, but it was fun. Thank you so much, everyone. And we look forward to more of the segments. I think it'll be a host of fun. Thank you for your ardent enthusiasm, and over to you, Madam Toastmasters of the evening.
Thank you so much. Can we please show her some love? That was beautifully executed. A very first for our club. So the bar is very high. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the segment of the Hawkmaster. I really enjoyed it. And what better way to ensure that we stay engaged, we stay tuned, than to have this section, because we are a virtual club. And it's very easy for us to get distracted with all other things, especially if we have our cameras off. So a big well done, and thank you to all the participants. And we hope you enjoy your rewards. Thank you so much. And now we come to a final section of our meeting. This is now the evaluations. It wouldn't be Toastmasters if we were not learning from each other. What I particularly love about this section is I do not give a speech or participate in any of the impromptu speaking, but we will get to learn from those that did. I always take the evaluations of others so personally because we learn here as a collective. And that's the nice thing about being part of Toastmasters, that we all learn as a collective and we are all invested in each other's ardent learning here at Toastmasters. So now, with that being said, I would like to call upon our very first evaluator of the evening, which was Sibongile Mtweni, to please give Wiganyo his evaluation. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. As we say at Toastmasters, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So, Biganyo, here is your dinner of champions. Can I please ask the Zoom Master to spotlight Biganyo and myself, because I would like to look at him when I am giving him his evaluation. Biganyo, well done. Can we all just give him a round of applause? Well done in presenting your very first speech in Toastmasters. How I'm going to give you your evaluation, I'm going to give it to you in terms of a sandwich method. I'm going to tell you 3 things that you have excelled at, 2 things that I would require you to improve, and a challenge. Biganyo, firstly, I've got 4 things that you excelled in. First one is showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. People don't know here, but you're doing this for the 3rd time because you have me as an evaluator and a mentor. I do apologize for torturing you through this experience, but well done. You've done it. You finally passed. Second thing you excelled at, I saw you standing up. So you incorporated the evaluation that I had already given to you before. You stood up. It is very important, ladies and gentlemen, to stand up when you are presenting because body gestures and movement are part of your speech deliverance. The third thing that you excelled at was using your gestures. At least you used them. We will then look forward to using them with impact. That will go into the next speech. And the fourth thing that you excelled at was speaking within time. Between 4 and 6 minutes, you made it. And you might have gone overboard, but we'll check with the timer on that. Now, in terms of things you need to improve, you need to improve your camera positioning. You were looking down at us. When I use my phone on Zoom, I normally use even my laptop. You'll see here, I'm in my bedroom on the bed, but I use shoe boxes and a chair to support my device so that I'm at an eye level with the people that I'm looking at. I'm not looking, when you're looking down at people, it kind of gives a domineering perspective, like you're looking down on us. So try and make sure that you're on a level that still shows you at least to your waist, and you're able to use your gestures in an impactful way. The second thing that I would like to improve on is your audience awareness. I know if you're like me, you prepare late. And sometimes you don't get the chance to really have your speech in your mind. You have the skeleton and you know what you want to say, but there are certain important things that you really, really want to convey to the audience. So be observant of your audience. Even if you are reading your speech or something disturbs you and takes your eye off, I know I'm guilty of this as well in terms of Zoom, because we take it for granted, people don't see you or they might not see it. Be aware of your audience. We watching every move that you are making. And a challenge. My challenge is, please, I challenge you to present your next speech next week at a different clip. Thank you so much. Back to you, Madam. I'm not sure if it was General Evaluator or Toastmaster of the Day.
Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you, ma'am. Let's give her a big round of applause for that thorough evaluation. That is how we do it here at Visionary Readers Toastmasters. You get your feedback. What is it that you excelled at? What is it that you could work on? And what is it you can challenge yourself on? Biganyo, we hope that you'll take the feedback and that you'll process it. If you have questions, please reach out to your evaluator for more information. And we look forward to hearing your speech next week. Thank you so much. And now I would like to call upon our second evaluator of the evening, Anna Costa, to please give us the evaluation of our second speaker. Over to you.
Thanks so much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. And I'm honored to do the evaluation for Pearl for her speech this evening. Firstly, I was taken away. It was brilliant. And thanks for spotlighting Pearl. Pearl, I now speak directly to you. I just sat back in awe, and I have evaluated as follows: what I saw, what I heard, and what I felt. I saw a well-poised, well-structured, standing speaker, confident. Gestures were wide, open, and appropriate, and in full view of the camera. Your eye contact to the camera was perfect. I heard clear language, perfect pacing, although I will just brush up on a little pointer there later on. And you spoke concisely. The content of your speech had a distinct start, a middle, and a very satisfactory ending, by the way. And what I felt at the end was nostalgia. I actually had tears in my eyes at one stage because you spoke to the heart. The end was absolutely, we had discussed this very succinctly early on, and you've ardently tackled this challenge that you were given by a previous general evaluator. You've ended with questions, and then not only that, you took it a step forward and you gave a suggested solution, very appropriate to the theme and to your speech title. The only thing I could maybe suggest to improve on would be to pause longer at the end. Just a pause where it becomes almost unbearably quiet and you can just sweep your eyes, although this was a camera meeting, but sweep your eyes across and then deliver your last line. That would have been like, woof, but just a suggestion. And the challenge for the next time is very simple, really. You were standing, the camera was slightly facing up instead of direct. That's the only thing that had actually no impact on the content itself, but it would just have been a more of a pleasurable and easier framing for us to view. But that's about it. Thank you so much, and wonderful speech once again. Well done. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Madam Evaluator. Can we also give her a big round of applause? That meticulous evaluation. And now we move on to our last or final evaluator of our speeches. I would like to call upon our third evaluator, Sibongiseni Mgolozeli, to please give us the evaluation of Sibongile Mthweni. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. I must apologize in advance to our timekeeper because that 20-minute speech was a mouthful. If I speak for less than 3 minutes, I won't be doing justice to Sibongile. But I'll try my best to speak within time. Sibongile, I hope you can now take on the role of the Zoom master and spotlight the two of us so that I can speak looking at you directly. Number one, using the common structure, I will highlight maybe a few things that you excelled at, that I love, that are amazing, as you are an ardent speaker or communicator. Secondly, I will look at the things maybe you can improve on and probably give you a challenge for your next speech. Let me start by using this quote. In public speaking, they say you win or lose your audience within the first 30 seconds of opening your mouth. And the best way to do that is to start either by a quote, a question, or a story. For you, you used a quote by Denzel Washington, and that got us hooked from the get-go. That quote, I paraphrase, dreams without a plan or a timeline are just a wish. We're like, we can't wait to hear more. So you started strong, but wait until the end to see if your finishing was as strong as your beginning. One thing I enjoyed the most about your speech was the fact that you were like your audience awareness, the way you looked at the camera, your eye contact, and most importantly, your body language as you're evaluating the second speaker. You are also aware that you need to do this when you're speaking. Number one, like I said, audience awareness through eye contact. You had no notes at all whatsoever, so you were engaging us through eye contact. Number two, when it comes to hand gestures, I'll use an example. There was a time where you said around the world. You use your finger to indicate that you are talking about something around. That was well done. And also when you said big changes, you used open gestures to show something huge or big you're talking about. So that's what we mean by effective body language, well-timed, incongruent with your vocals. Your visuals, body language must be in congruence or in agreement with your visuals or your vocals. Visuals and vocals must be an agreement. And perhaps the last thing I would like to commend you on was your vocal projection. At Toastmasters, we speak a lot about vocal variety. For you, I loved your poise. You had no signs, we couldn't detect any signs of nervousness, which means you're calm, you're collected. You had clear mind, you knew exactly what to say. And the fact that you are aware, it helped you to know exactly what body language to use in your next sentence. So self-awareness is a big, I think is your personal trait that I think I admire for my personal observation. So that was greatly, greatly done. Now to move to the part where maybe the last thing that I felt was amazing. I felt inspired, to be honest, in terms of how you took us through, the general, nuts and bolts of public speaking. You know exactly how to keep your engaged and involved. You use rhetorical devices such as analogies, the pig, as well as the chicken. Most importantly, rhetorical questions. You ask a question, especially as you were delivering your speech. You said, are you a chicken or the pig? Rhetorical questions create anticipation because it's an analogy. At the same time, it's a fable. Those are actually rhetorical devices that help you as a speaker to connect with your audience. Maybe two things I would like to suggest as a way of improving next time. Time management, especially during your Q&A session. Well, I noticed that you went over time. The reason is related to the second point that I wanted to work on next time, which is how you structure your questions. Number one, I love the fact that they were short and sweet. Are you a pig or are you a chicken? So it means that question, it was a close-ended question, even though you gave your respondents an option to explain why, but it's always advised to ask open-ended questions. And the open-ended questions start with either why, how, what, when, or where. So there's about 6 of those honest serving men. 5 of them start with W, what, when, where, and so forth. And then the last one starts with H, which is how. So please, even if you use that approach, but make sure they are short and simple. It's also called keep it short and simple, the KISS principle. Remember the KISS principles whenever you're drafting your questions. And now in terms of time management, if you master that, having to ask relevant questions not relevant, but rather open-ended questions, it will help you to keep them short. And also you allow your respondent to know exactly how to answer. And related to time management, again, please try next time to give them at least a timeline with that question that you ask. Are you a pig or are you the chicken? Tell them you only have 30 minutes or 1 minute to give your full answer so that they don't eat your time since you are given 20 minutes. That will help you and also your audience to learn the importance of time management. Otherwise, everything else was brilliant during your delivery, body language, vocal variety, audience awareness. I think I also love the fact that I've mentioned earlier to summarize your rhetorical devices of public speaking. You've got the hang of that. And that makes you like almost a perfect public speaker already. Other than that, well done to your next speech. I don't know what challenge can I give you for the next speech, except maybe to work on these suggestions that I've highlighted. That's all from me. Congratulations on that speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Can we please give him a round of applause? Thank you for doing that evaluation justice, Dr. Sibo. And now we move on to our evaluation. So not only do we evaluate speeches here, but we also evaluate our meeting and our role or participants. So and this is in line with us learning and developing ourselves and wanting to improve and to continuously do better. I would now like to call upon the virtual stage our general evaluator, Gabo, together with your team, to please give us the reports of this evening's meeting. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. What a wonderful, fun meeting we are having. I've never laughed this much in any of the Toastmasters meeting. It is really fun. Okay, moving right along, let's start with the report from the grammarian. And I would like to welcome Zintle on the virtual podium to tell us how we did in terms of the language grammar. Zintle, over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. I must say, this has been one of the most exciting meetings I've ever been into. I am still deciding whether I am the chicken or the pig. There was so much to take away from this meeting. The use of the language. We used the word of the day 10 times. We can give ourselves a hand for that. Madam Toastmaster of the day, you use the word ardent twice. Pearl, you use the word once. Sibongile Mtsweni, you use the word once. Mr. President, you use the word twice. And our Hawk Master of the evening used the word 3 times, which was really, really commendable. As everybody ardently gave their speeches tonight, I couldn't help but be excited by the quotes, the very inspiring quotes that were shared right from our Hawk Master, who taught us about wisdom and listening. Very, very inspiring. And then we were listening to Pearl, who was throwing all sorts of quotes and analogies. Totally enjoyed that speech, whether it was the use of, instead of saying the beginning of the year, Pearl says the threshold of the year. Very commanding use of the English language, leap of the year, or leap of faith, using leap of faith. Instead of saying pushing the dreams on the side, she used words such as relegated and dusting off those dreams. The quotes came from, or the different people that were quoted was Mandela, Maya Angelou, Denzel Washington, and I think it was Russell Brunson, if I'm not mistaken. I must say all of those showed that the team itself, all the speakers and the evaluators really did a great job preparing for this meeting. Very commendable. Our third speaker, Sibongile, giving us that analogy, which was very thought-provoking. Are you the pig or the chicken? And like I said, I am still deciding whether I am the pig or the chicken. It really does depend on the role I'm playing at a particular point. With all that said, I would like to congratulate everybody, all the role players, all the speakers, and all the evaluators for the excellent use of the language. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator of the evening.
Thank you very much, Madam Grammarian. And you can continue and go ahead and give us the report in terms of the use of the crash words and all those pause fillers that we use during our speeches. Over to you, Madam Accountant.
Thank you very much again, ma'am. I feel like a celebrity coming on the screen twice in one night. And I must start with myself. I was counting my own arms and ears. I used arm 1. Buikanyo, you used a and arm 6 times. Sibongile, you used a 4 times. The Hawkmaster used a or twice. Jackie, who came on almost right at the very end, used 5 times. Ayanda, who was responding to a question, used twice, and our Toastmaster of the day used the filler word so about twice, which was a bit repetitive. And that is my report for as an AHA counter. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. And I would now give the feedback in terms of how we did in our meeting today. And before I get deeper into it, I have to say, Visionary Readers, is for the first time I have joined your meeting. And wow. They say if it is not fun, then it is not Toastmasters. Definitely. This was fun. And there's a lot that I have learned out of this meeting. The meeting started on time. It was 18 o'clock or 18:01, but that is still fine. The meeting started really well. And of course, the SAA, for some reason, at that time could not call the meeting to order. However, I have to commend the president for immediately taking over the meeting, because we say in Toastmasters, we wear many hats. So the fact that you are a president doesn't mean you will just stick to that, but you can quickly take it off, become the SAA, come back into the meeting, and you call the meeting to order. That was very commendable. You welcomed us, Mr. President, and you gave us the insights of what Toastmasters is about. I can concur and attest that even if somebody was visiting Toastmasters for the first time, they will have an idea of what Toastmasters is about, just from the few minutes that you welcomed us. That was also very commendable. I came in with the tech team, my accounter, timer, and grammarian. We introduced the roles. That was done very well. Certainly everyone that was going to be part of this meeting knows exactly what we'll be checking as the quality team. The prepared speeches, I have to say, all three of them, they were very good, very well prepared. That is including Wikanyo, who was doing his icebreaker. Now we get to know who he is. Your speech, Wikanyo, was very well. We know you and welcome to Toastmasters. This is a place where you will learn even more. The second speaker, Pearl, you did very well. So many quotes. I was inspired really from hearing them. As many as they were, they matched into your speech like very well. The amount of research that went into those quotes, I can imagine it must have taken a month. And Sibongile, our third speaker, you did very well also on your speech and the facilitation as well. You know, it was really, our Toastmaster of the day said, this is the main course. We really had the main course, especially with the facilitation as well. We had so much fun. And I have to say, I go with Zintle. I don't know if I want to be a pig or I want to be a chicken in this restaurant. And also attesting to what Wikanyo said, if it leads to dying, I might just want to be the chicken I ate. That was actually not my first choice. Okay, and there was this Hackmaster session. I've never known about it. I met it for the first time at Visionary Readers. It's very interesting. It enhances the ability to actually listen. Every learner in a classroom hear it from a teacher. They listen because they know they're going to be asked questions at the end of the session. So knowing that there is this session, really you have to listen attentively because you don't want to fail. I love this introduction of this session. The evaluations, constructive feedback that was given to our speakers to say, where is it that you can improve and where is it that you have excelled? And that is what builds us up. Because every time as a speaker, when you leave this platform and you've got feedback, you know exactly what is it that you're going to work on. Those are the positives that I have jotted. And there's a few things that I would like for the visionary readers to look at. And that was, if I take it from the beginning with the R counter, when I called in Zinhle to be the R counter, it looked like she was not aware that she has to be the R counter. Then it says somewhere, somehow, communication didn't go well. So you can have a look at it and then improve on it to say, perhaps there was somebody that needed to be the accountant and was not available anymore. Then the VPE would go to Zinhle and say, in addition to your grammarian role, can you be the accountant for us? For that reason, she will be able to also prepare for the accountant role. She did very well, although she did from the little that she can remember out of what accountant is about. The second thing, the Hackmaster role. When I checked on the agenda, it was supposed to come. She was supposed to come and introduce the role immediately after the timer. For some reason, it could have been the error from the Toastmaster of the day, or you actually would have left it differently the way it was done. But the point there would be, let us do our roles exactly how we planned them in the agenda. And I have to commend for seeing that the Toastmaster of the day may have perhaps jumped this section. And when you got an opportunity as an evaluator, you came in and introduced the Hackmaster session as well. And then when it came to the session of the Hackmaster, very well, interesting. The wheel was spin and then we enjoyed the session. Towards the end, the Hackmaster asked, can I spin the wheel again? And at that time, I also looked at the time. The time was up. So what I would like to bring upon is that our timer, it is your responsibility to always be on the lookout for the proceedings of the meeting when it comes to time. It was not the responsibility of the attendee of the meeting to indicate to the Hackmaster that the time is up, but rather as a timer, be very vigilant for every session that is happening, and it's happening within the time, and it is actually your slot as the timer to indicate that, Madam Hackmaster, your time is up. When we came to the evaluations, a challenge I can give to, or a food for thought I can give to the two evaluators, Sibongile and Anna Costa, which is something that Sibongiseni did very well, is we are saying feedback should be constructive. In an analogy, they say it looks like a hamburger, which will have a roll, a patty, then another roll. So, which means you will give the positive, you will give the areas of improvement, and you will end with the positives again. In your feedback today, with following the structure of our feedback document, your feedback ended with the challenges. And I believe there isn't anywhere on the document where it now says you can give us the other side of the roll. So what you would need to do then is, after you saying, I am challenging you on 1, 2, 3, 4, to put your camera slide, to use your hands by variety, then you can then motivate the person that is receiving feedback to you by adding some more positives and closing on positives rather than ending it with the challenges. And we had a 5 minutes break. I have to say, as we were going, I needed a break and I was worried, are we going to get a break? Because I need one. Perfectly, we had a break. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, to give us the break. However, we've been doing very well on time until we went for the break. And simply because the 5 minutes break is not counted for in the agenda. So what I would say is you can just, that 5 minute slot that you're going to give us, you put it in the agenda, then we know it is accounted for in terms of time. In conclusion, I've got a couple of words that I have written, which describes the characteristics of this club, that you are a very advanced, excelling kind of a club. I wish at Toastmasters they had some sort of an award, not for membership and training and bunny and renewals, but also for looking at the quality of the meetings that we are doing. And you, visionary readers, you would be, I don't know, President Distinguished what when it comes to how you run your meetings. It was really professional and it was excellent. Time management, it's also very good. And your level of confidence as the club, I love it, I love it, I love it. You colleagues are beyond extremely excelling. And the learning in this club is very high. Just from the speeches, the Toastmaster of the Day, everybody that spoke today, including those that were giving answers to the impromptu speeches. You just learn and learn and learn throughout the meeting. And we had a lot of fun, a lot and lot of fun. And you've been consistent. The last time I checked, there was 25 of us throughout the meeting. It remained like that for the biggest part of the running of the meeting. Until now, we just lost one and we are 24. But that consistency shows the amount of commitment that you have towards this Toastmasters. For that, I thank you very much for the opportunity to make me your general evaluator today, and I learned a lot. All the best for the new year. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. And then now I can hand over to the timer.
Good evening once again. The last time report, I'll look at the evaluations and some of the role player reports. So for the evaluations, there was supposed to be 2 to 3 minutes. The first evaluator was Bongile, evaluating Bikanyo. She spoke for 3 minutes, 57 seconds. Anna Costa was evaluating Pell. She spoke for 2 minutes, 38 seconds. Sibongiseni Mkulozeli was evaluating Sibongile, spoke for 6 minutes, 34 seconds. The Hackmaster session took 11 minutes, 9 seconds. The grammarian report was 2 minutes, 59 seconds. The accountant report was 1 minute. Our general evaluator was supposed to speak between 4 to 8 minutes. She spoke for 12 minutes. And yeah, that is the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Madam General Evaluator, as well as your team for those thorough evaluations. We really appreciate it. We really learned a lot. And if we were not out of time, I would have called the Hackmaster again just to test if everybody was listening to the evaluations. But thank you so much. That really concludes our evening. And I would like to think that we were still on par, that we had fun, and that we learned. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for us to unmute and just give a big round of applause to everybody and all the proceedings that took place before we hand over to our president.
Yay.
So much. And that brings me to the end, and I would like to now hand over the reins back to you, sir. Thank you so much for choosing us this evening, and thank you very much for allowing me to be your Toastmaster of the evening.
Beautiful. You are welcome, ma'am. And a big thanks to you. In fact, to everyone who played a role this evening to make our meeting a successful one. At this point, at Toastmasters, we are very generous with our applause. I would like, again, each and every one of us here to take just 5 seconds to give a big round of applause for every role player, every speaker, and even everyone who attended this evening. Thank you so much, guys. You can unmute if you can.
We would love to maybe hear from, let's say, 2 people, maybe one person that is a visitor, and a visitor is somebody that's visiting from another club, just to get maybe a sentence from you of what you take away from tonight's meeting. Anyone, we're out of time, so it can be very impromptu, just to round off the meeting, just to understand and just to learn from you in terms of what is it that you have gained from the session, or what were some of the, key phrase that you walk away with. Ayanda, you've unmuted. Would you like to say a few words?
No, the few words, what I want to say is that I've noticed the language, the language you are speaking, it's very good English. Secondly, the confidence. Those are the 2 things I've learned, and we're also organized. Those are the 3 things I've learned. The language, the confidence. I think for me, I'll go for it. But I enjoyed the activity. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thanks, Ayanda. We appreciate that. Mr. President, are you back? I think I saw you.
You also had Jackie who put her hand up.
Okay, Jackie, you can go for it.
Okay, sorry. I think, yeah, for me as well, I've just noticed the way you guys articulate yourself. It's very impressive. And I realized that I was also noted as an person 5 times. So it made me aware that I need to pay attention to, certain habits that I might have. I'm already doing it again, but it's something that I would definitely work on. And I also took, when it comes to embodying your aspirations, I think for me that was the biggest thing, because obviously there's never a perfect moment to embody your aspirations. And for me, this is the time. And being in this session, I think it solidified the fact that I want to mold, build, sculpt the person that I want to be. And I'm very excited to be part of the team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. I'm sure you realize nobody is safe, hey? I mean, you heard even Madam Accounter, she was also policing herself. And that's what we do at Toastmasters. We build self-awareness and we work on those aspects. We have one more hand, Mlungisi. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a visitor. It's my first time. I must say I've heard a lot about the Toastmasters, and I must say I'm quite impressed for my first time joining. So impressed with the structure. One would think that you guys get paid for such. I truly enjoyed all the speeches, and I can see a lot of effort and time is put into the speeches. I think what stood out for me is really Spongilia's speech specifically about commitment versus involvement. I quite enjoyed that. And really, I'm excited to finally take the next step and actually join Toastmasters to also improve and learn, just like you guys have learned and improved over time. So thank you so much, guys.
Welcome. Thank you, Mr. And we look forward to welcoming you to Toastmasters. And I see we are out of time, but I would like to now hand over to our president. I see he is back. Thank you so much, everybody. And thanks for the engagement to our lovely visitors and guests.
Right. Thank you so much, Madam Treasurer. Apologies about getting cut off. Yeah, I'm sure it's my network. With all that being said, it's a no-brainer to actually, for each and every one of you now, to make that important decision, especially for our guests. If you know you can identify as 85 of within that 85% of the world population who have this fear of public speaking, perhaps just like our brother here who just gave us a positive, who just committed to join Toastmasters, you can do the same to join Toastmasters, because here we learn exactly how to overcome, first and foremost, that fear of public speaking. And true commitment, as Bongile in his speech has said, you move gradually into becoming that person who is able to articulate themselves, who speak eloquently, because as you've said, as you've noticed, we have the grammarian in our meetings, someone who helps us to improve not only our English grammar, but our vocabulary. The words of the day, they add to our words that are quite impressive as you speak the English language. So we have seen from the beginning of this meeting how Toastmasters has helped us, especially those people who are delivering their speeches. I mean, you saw with your own eyes how Toastmasters can change one's life. Look at the contrast from Boykanyi was a icebreaker speaker, the first time speaker, to Sibongile now. Can you see the contrast? I've said a lot already. I'm quite filled with emotions of joy right now because, as our general evaluator was saying, this was so professional, so seamless, and it was quite enjoyable. And well, almost like it was rehearsed because everyone brought their A game into the meeting and delivered. Thank you, team, once again. Thank you, everyone who participated. That's all from me. It's a Friday evening. Please do enjoy the rest of the Friday evening and have a lovely weekend. I hope everyone enjoyed their time, and you can stick around if you still have some questions, then we'll be happy to answer you. That's for our guests. Otherwise, if you are done, you can leave and then you can contact us privately on WhatsApp or any other way you can. Bye, everyone.